When it first started.
I have 2 hours.
This is for you, this is a copy of that thing we did for communications last time, so.
Yeah, okay, I'll put it in the files.
You should have it.
Okay,
More paper.
yeah.
We do them Board of Finance minutes here?
Well, I don't know when else you would do them. Honestly, we did last year, we did it here, but
Okay.
that don't mean it was right. I don't know.
David, did we approve the Board of Finance minutes here or wait till our next Board of Finance meeting?
In a year.
It's not, yeah,
Okay,
it would be the Board of Finance.
okay.
It's a separately constituted board.
I figured, but I want to make sure.
Okay,
You want to approve?
no, but
You
you
think-
won't remember in a year.
You think State Board of Accounts will want us to? That's the thing, you know, it's.
I think it'll be fine if you wait.
Yes. You ready?
Yep.
It's 5:29. If you would, go ahead and we'll stand and say the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. Rita, Aaron, did you guys get a chance to look over the minutes of the January 21st meeting?
Yes, sir. I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second Rita's motion. Motion by Rita, second by Aaron. All in favor? Aye. Claims and allowances.
I make a motion to approve the claims and allowances for this time.
Second. Motion by Rita, second by Aaron. All in favor? Aye. They can get them after the meeting, it doesn't matter. Gotcha. Letter of support for RTC bead grant application. Pat Todd, RTC Communications.
Yes, thank
Come
you.
on up.
Pat Todd, RTC Communications. So, hopefully you guys have all seen the letter we sent out. So we're looking at doing about a $250,000 expansion in Martin County utilizing the BEAD grant funding. And so with the materials that we sent you, we do ask that you keep that kind of close to your mindset as it is a competitive bid process. We don't know of any other companies. It's all blinded. So we will be submitting next week for the application, turning it in over to the state. There are some changes on the federal side. We don't know if the state, since it's already been rolled out, but, you know, we have gratefully had your guys' support in some of the other ventures we've done. We're actively doing West Boggs build right now. And we appreciate the letters of support last year and want to keep moving forward. So I don't know if there are any questions based on what I sent you.
None. David, you got a chance to look it over and
Yeah, it's a standard, just letter of support. You're not really committing
No,
to Martin County doing anything, so.
Yeah.
You're saying it's a good idea.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no commitment from the county.
This is definitely a good idea. I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Motion to give a letter of support for the RTC beat grant application.
I will second that motion.
got the motion by Aaron, second by Retha. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Pat.
Pat.
How many copies do you need? Just one or you need us to sign one for our?
Should be okay. Right?
Probably only,
Oh,
Go ahead and sign your copy if you got one over there. Miss.
Michelle, do you have some sort of file on broadband?
Probably a file for everything.
Probably gonna just keep copies, so.
Yeah, we'll keep a copy of it.
Let you look at some.
What was that for the broadband or?
Oh,
Here you go. I got it right here. We'll use this one. We'll go ahead just so we have one in our file too. That other one, too, please. Yeah, I already signed it. That's the original for Pat. Yeah, thank you guys for everything you've been doing. Got up there, you're working on the town of Crane.
Yeah, so that's complete. Now we're putting
Yeah.
down 231.
it's been great in my area, so I love it.
Thank you.
Had satellite for years, daughter never turned her TV on until I got, you know, and then she. Streams and all that games, so.
Alrighty. Yeah, Pat, you don't have to stick around unless you just want to. I
Oh,
mean,
I wanna see what they have to say.
all right, that's great. All right, Scott, we'll start with you in the highway.
We do have 2 trucks down. Actually, one we're gonna pick up tomorrow, but we had another one go down today, so hopefully we'll have it a day or two. We did finally fill the mechanic's position. Should be starting Monday. And rather not give a name till I know for sure he's there, so.
Yep. All right,
Things go. And, might want to discuss a weight limit at least for a few days to see what this weather's gonna do, so
well, is that your recommendation?
it is
All right,
10 ton.
Make a motion to put a 10-ton weight limit on till further notice.
I will approve that. Or second that.
motion by Aaron, second by Retha on the 10-ton weight limit. All in favor? Aye. Now, putting gravel down, graders running.
Slowly getting there. Had trouble with manpower again, so got some guys out sick, so as soon as we get that going, and yeah, we're doing everything we can right now, so. All holes in the rock.
Yeah,
Had a gentleman retire last week,
We did.
long-time employee,
Appreciate
did
it.
a great job.
yeah.
Wish him good luck.
We'd like to say thanks to Brian Tao for several years of service. Well, anybody else have anything for Scott? All right. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Scott.
Sheriff.
We had a whole lot for you. One of our deer crash trucks came back from the shop yesterday, and the other one went into the shop in this place, we swapped them out. On the weight limits, you guys just put on, can we get the ordinance or resolution number for that,
Sure.
whenever we come across those
Yeah.
violators?
David will have to work up an ordinance on it.
I'll figure out something, yeah.
Okay.
That way we have the teeth that, it'll go with it, otherwise, we just go out there.
Right. I mean, they are soft, so
Yeah, it's really soft out there right now.
you can get that fairly quick for us.
Yes, sir.
Can we use one that we've had before?
Yeah, we'll just copy it or.
I know we
I'm
had,
trying to think, I think Yeah, I think.
I know we've got one, cause we used it when, Travis was sheriff, so you guys would have a little bit of,
Michelle and I will get it together.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
and then,
And I don't know if we can put up any exemptions to that. I know like animal feeds, there's some statutorily.
yeah, we always let, feed trucks come in and the trash trucks run.
Other than that, appreciate your guys' support on those additional positions that the council funded last night.
Had any bites yet?
The jail position, I've got somebody to fill it already. We already had somebody lined up. And dispatch, I have 3 people lining up.
Good,
And within the next week for interviews.
good. Inmates?
Down to 34 currently. So Vigo is way below their capacity right now, for whatever reasons. I was told as of this morning, they had 67 open beds in Vigo County. So I don't know what else changed to make that happen, if we'll see them back again or not. We have sent out to every jail, see if anybody had any inmates that need to free home.
Yeah.
So we're attempting to find some more to backfill.
Still got our DOCs or
We got one DOC currently. But he probably won't be there much longer. He's gonna be doing 12 years, so he'll be moving on pretty soon.
Yeah.
That's all I got, unless you guys need something else.
No, I don't think so. Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bonnie?
Eddie's at the pipeline safety meeting. We have a yearly meeting over. It's for fire and contractors and all kinds of people that have it.
Down at Simon J. Graber? Yeah.
Yeah. They have that every year, and that's where he's at. I got some people working traffic on 231 South right now. Andy and Corey and I went to District 10 Alliance meeting in Linville, I believe it was last week, and then Andy and I are going to a District 10 Directors meeting in Jasper on Thursday. And he I think he talked to you about this grant deal on the, every 5 years, we've got to redo our hazard mitigation plan, and state has a grant, and you choose a person to, or not person, but a group to help you with it, and I think he's working with IU, and I think the grant's for like 27,000, and then we'll have to do 7,000 in kind, or actually won't be money involved on our end. It just, when this thing gets going and they set the meetings up, we gotta be sure to show up at the meetings and whatever other public positions are, may be needed at these meetings to put this thing together. Usually not a big deal, because they're just, we're renewing the plan we already had, so we just, make a few changes if there is any. A lot of times there's really not a whole lot of difference, changing names around and stuff on positions, things like that. But, anyway, that'll be upcoming. We've got, some time to get it done, and he's already been in contact with the people up there, so they're supposed to get back with us when we start setting these things up, but you might be made aware of it when we have these meetings, that if your attendance is needed, we'll get a hold of you.
Yeah, sure.
Don't have much more than that.
They still have the in-kind and everything on that
Yeah.
grant that you're putting in?
Yeah, that's 7,000 in kind. And I don't know exactly how they do that by the different meetings they have and the, amount of participation and all that stuff.
Mhm.
It's usually,
Well, that's why we all met that one
Yeah.
time, so
Yeah.
we could meet her in kind.
yeah. So, yeah, it is. We'll try to get things, once we know how the meetings are coming up, we'll try to get it so that, either depending on how long these meetings will be, which we'll find out. I don't know if you wanna piggyback it on something, or if you wanna do it separately, or, night, day, whatever, we'll get all that figured out. But I'll, Andy, once he gets all this stuff together, we'll be getting in touch and trying to put it all together.
Yeah, we'll just have to figure it out and see, because I remember that last one turned into an all-nighter.
Yeah, sometimes, but I'm hoping, since we're just.
I think we jammed maybe 15 years into one meeting, so.
But, since we've already got one in place and we're just renewing it, hopefully we won't have a big deal like that.
That was one of the first meetings the Moose had come to, and I thought you'd run him off, because of the big guy.
Well, sometimes, and of course it depends on what rules and regulations that, they have to abide by. Hopefully, it looks like the current administration, both nationally and statewide, is trying to reduce some of the rules and regulations. I don't know if that will go over onto this or not. It has to do with FEMA and stuff, so it's kind of a national thing. And so with all the political upheaval that's going on, we're kind of, I don't really know, what we're gonna get into, but hopefully it'll be good. So,
Yeah.
anything with less, because sometimes there's a lot of this stuff, as you know, government paperwork, they end up 15 pages to answer one question, so hopefully we'll get some of that down to where we won't have such a big deal with it. But,
Sounds good.
that's about all I know of now, unless you've got anything else.
Yes, sir. I don't.
No, not tonight, Monty. Make sure you're back next meeting.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tony? Have anything? Brian, VSO, you got anything?
For January, I kind of just did a little breakdown.
Yeah.
For January, we had 9 new vets come into the office that I had meetings with and everything. With the weather being as bad as it was in January, the van was scheduled, but it never did leave because they just canceled their appointments and everything with the weather and everything. With 9 of them vets that I met with, I had to meet with 4 of them 2 or more times. And that ain't counting the ones that just come in the office or call me or talk to me on the street. Those are just the ones that actually set up appointments with and have meetings with, so. So I think it's I haven't seen the study or the record for 2024, but in 2023, we had 987 vets living in Martin County. So, but with Crane, I mean that, so, and I bet you not even half of them has come and done anything with us yet. So.
Right.
So that's about all I got, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
We got our wish to speak list.
Yeah. Right.
Arthur Ping.
Yes, before I start, I was wondering how many military men are in here? Okay. We've been under military regime for quite a while. We never won the Revolutionary War. We made concessions. We are under British Admiralty rule, which is what the bar stands for. No offense. That gold French flag is British Admiralty Royal flag. The Republic stands for land, air, water. Under the bar, everyone is a number on a ship's manifest. Our military has been fighting this war for 250 years. The War of 1812 was about the ship's manifest. The Civil War was about dividing the country in two mindsets: emotion against mental logic, separating the country in two, because we are separated by two lobes of the brain, whichever one is dominant. We are a biological hydrogen fuel cell. We methylate the things we consume. We do not methylate oil very well, nor do we methylate synthetic plastic, which is derived from the oil. That's what Bobby Kennedy is speaking about. I'm just giving you some information so you know how to read this. The highway that's going to come through will separate you from land, farmland. That's what it's designed to do. Separate the country up into smaller cities that can be controlled by the system. We are on the verge of winning this war. So be very careful about what you do. And sir, no disrespect to you, the lawyer, but you need to be careful. And anybody that's thinking about taking a bribe for the highway to come through is a very dangerous proposition. The reason the digital information was developed was to track everyone. They know everything that people are doing that's on the wrong side of this particular war. They're tracking you. So you need to be very careful. I'm serious. I see good people in this room. This is about our children. I want you to grab deep. You're going to fight for your children because they are poisoning us. They have been for a long time. Because they're trying to defeat this country, bring it down. When this world was colonized by the British, they traveled all over. And then they go into international law, make laws with customs of the country. We were fighting for freedom, tired of being a slave. We are mentally a slave because we've been trained to be one for 250 years. All you have to do is remember land, not have it polluted. And that's going to be a hard thing, but it will do. When Trump said fight, he meant it. But you've got an easy job. All you have to do is not let that road go through. Counties were set up to unite together and tell the state what to do, just like states were told to tell the nation what to do. 90% plus of the politicians are bought and paid for. That's coming out a little bit with Bernie Sanders and different ones that have taken money from the pharmaceutical industry. Our medicine is going to change big time. One of the things our military did was research more about what we are to purify it and give better medicine. We're not meant to survive on oil. But oil is a fuel that we're using, but new things are coming. The technology, when Trump said 6,000 patents are gonna be released. But it's not until we clean up the mess. So if you set up a communication with the other counties and protect the farmland, it really makes it easy. Protecting the farmland.
It's been 5 minutes. It didn't go off very loud, but.
All right.
definitely.
Thank you. Thank you. Jason McCoy.
Paul, I want to thank you again for attending our Property Rights Alliance meeting in Jasper last month. Want to acknowledge Monty Gregory came to the last one 2 weeks ago. We've got another one on Thursday. If any of you guys can make it, that'd be cool.
Now, this one's gonna be at the Hampton, though, right beside the Schnitz.
This one is, yeah. So every once in a while, the Schnitz gets full.
Right.
And there was the option to have it again at the clubhouse 61, but when we did one there last time and, 200 people showed up, that was a public presentation. And we didn't want to confuse people and give people the impression that, it goes out kind of, it's an open invite for folks, opposed to the road to show up. We didn't want to give anybody the impression that it was going to be another public presentation. It's just our committee meeting. But they have a conference room about this size here. We can only get about 30 people in that conference room, and I think we had 34 people show up at the last meeting, so, yeah, so this one will be at 6 o'clock at the Hampton. A lot of people eat first and then just mosey over. So, a couple things I wanted to see if you guys got that letter, that email from Jason DuPont lining out. It went out to everybody. It went out to everybody that has a stake in it.
Yes.
It didn't go out to homeowners or property owners, really, but it went out to people in positions of authority or power. And, that's kind of a legal requirement. They have to send that out. It's similar to needing somebody from our county to be appointed to the Community Action Committee. That's a legal requirement, right? And it puts them, the road people, in a position where they could say, hey, we sent out notice to the Maumee tribe of Indians in Ohio that might have a stake in this. That's interesting because, I think some of those Indians participated in, at least kind of my understanding of, and I haven't delved into that yet. We'll be delving into that tomorrow in preparation, for our meeting. But, I think there's some significance there. I know a lot about the road and what's going on, but it didn't occur to me that, wait a minute, from a federal perspective, they gotta go all the way back to the Shell Mound people. All those mussel shells that got piled up between Dawson and Hayesville. They gotta wait, that's an issue for this road, and difficult for me to get my brain around that. That was 14,000 years ago, supposedly. So, I wasn't aware of requirements like that, but we'll be discussing those at our meetings and just what that letter meant and why that's an important letter for you guys to consider. Also, last time I was here, I mentioned my concern about the Joe Lannon letter, the last Joe Lannon letter that the commission signed, in my opinion, and other people's opinion, harmed the county's position on it, on the road, because it gave the powers that be, the higher ups, the impression that, well, no, I thought we weren't gonna get any pushback from Martin County. I kind of thought we had this, Martin County in line. And in talking to Monty Gregory, our county councilman, well, why the Joe thing again? Monty, what's going on here? And Monty's words were, well, look, Joe's doing a personal favor for the Matthias brothers. That's what this is all about. And that's what it was all about before, it was all about Joe doing a personal favor for the Matthias brothers. So I just want to mention that again and hopefully keep that and you guys to consider that and to reiterate, there's 10,000 of us here.
I actually don't, I think we decided not to go forward with that letter process.
That's correct.
at our redevelopment meeting. I mean, I thought we'd done that.
That's correct.
Thank you. You took some work off my plate, Paul. I appreciate that. And guys, thank you for that. So that's really all I have.
6 o'clock,
6 o'clock.
At the
every
Hampton.
other Thursday.
you're
That's
still
what I
gonna,
was just gonna ask, every other Thursday?
Every other Thursday,
Okay,
yeah.
I've had ball games, so I haven't been, but they're getting ready to end, so.
And here's the thing too, I don't expect you guys to be able to come all the time, I don't. I expect you to be engaged in the issue, cause it's important to your constituents. But really ball games first, honestly. I mean, Monty was in the same boat, he's like,
They're only young once.
ball games, man, and so I appreciate the work you guys do, but raising your kids is the only worthwhile thing any of us will ever do, really, so you can't miss those ball games.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
thank you.
I didn't have anybody else signed up to speak, so. We're gonna. Sheriff,
I had a guy reach out to me today. He is starting a Martin County online newspaper. He says like the Martin County Journal. He expects to be up and running the next month. I told him he had to come here and introduce himself. But you're gonna have to sign up an email. I think it's gonna be called the Martin County Current.
Yeah, Current, I think is how you pronounce it, Current News.
But he was reaching out to me on how to get police reports and stuff, but I told him I'd come visit you guys.
Karan,
Mhm.
But it's,
Had to
you're
Google
gonna
it,
sign
yeah.
up by email and it's gonna be through word of mouth. I don't,
no, absolutely, have him come in here and,
it sounds like we'll have another paper here soon.
good deal. Thank you. Mary, did you have anything?
Everything, thank you.
David,
The council last night approved, the redevelopment commission's renewed economic development plan. And, Jim Higgins' plan is for the commissioners to approve that at your next meeting on, was it the
Yeah, you
28th?
don't have it.
okay,
So we have that going. There is also there's been a request to amend the Certified Technology Park Plan between the Indiana Economic Development Corporation and Martin County Board of Commissioners and Martin County Redevelopment Commission. Replacing a couple of paragraphs. I'm going to recommend that the redevelopment commission look at it first at their meeting, which I really don't know when that is. Then the commissioners would approve that, at their 28th meeting as well.
we should probably meet on the 20th
20th, yeah,
I mean,
at 11 o'clock here, correct?
Mhm.
yes.
that redevelopment, yes,
Yes,
yeah. So
that's the third Thursday, so.
So I have those, Michelle has the, plan on selling, proposal on the commissioner's sale to sell those properties that, have not sold at tax sale. We discussed that last meeting. Do you all have that? Did you get that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you'll look at those certificates, the surveyor has looked at them and he recommends that the commissioners take no action on two of them because he has, serious concerns that these properties exist.
Right,
Um,
well, that's why we wanted Nate to look into that,
Yeah.
because that has come up before.
Yeah, so, we talked and, he thinks those were, actually taxes on improvements on this land. And somehow or the other, then it ended up getting a property card. Those two should not have received, those. The other 4 properties he thinks probably exist, but they're minimal value. But if the board wants to proceed, then I don't have any legal objection to proceeding with that resolution. If the commissioners would like to do that.
Well, I'm seeing what the minimum bid is over here and how much percent are they taking? Was it 30? Is that right? To put the sale on?
Yeah, let me see if I. 15% of all amounts collected for all property sold. So 15.
Basically $1,000 in.
What do you think?
That's worth it. So
May I make a recommendation?
Yeah, that's sort of where I was looking for a little advice, cause I mean, I don't know that this is,
I would recommend that we contact the adjoining property owners. It would be in their interest to get that property under their control, before the board takes this action. And then that process would have to be, they would have to bid on it, but we'll take their temperature to see if they would like to consolidate their position with regard to their existing properties.
good idea.
I like that suggestion. I have a question. Yes. Are these properties that you're talking about, properties that any of us could just come in and buy? Yeah,
They're tax sale properties that
they've already been on the tax sale
several times.
and nobody bid
So
on
they
them.
could have been bought before.
Yes,
Nobody bought them, so the county still owns it, we all still own it.
yeah,
But now what is it, somebody wants 15% to sell it for us, is that?
yeah,
is
if
that
we
what's up?
go through a share, well, it's not really a sheriff sale, but if we go through the sale to actually get rid of it, then yeah, they charge us 15%.
But if somebody comes in and buys it, does it have to go through another sheriff's sale, or does it have to
No.
be another auction?
No, I
Or
don't-
can
I don't
somebody
believe
just come in
so.
and buy it?
No, it has to go, the commissioners would have to sell it at a sale.
But we wouldn't have to run through this outfit, would
Yeah, I
we?
think we would. Well, no, we would not necessarily have to go through SRI. We could do it ourselves.
Ourselves,
That was my question.
say it was 15%, and I mean, we're not even, I mean, most of them's $200.
The properties,
Yeah, so I mean, they're not even,
Tiny slivers.
can you put it out, can you put that out somewhere that?
well, we're gonna first, ask the adjoining landowners, and then after that, yes, we'll make it public. There's just not enough money here for us really to be spending money.
Sure,
I mean,
I understand. Are there properties that are in town?
no, well, the one I know is not, that I see.
They're all out in county.
Are they buildable properties?
I would doubt
One
it.
is 1/1300ths of an acre, one is 1/1700 of an acre, one is, excuse me, not 17, 4500ths of an acre, and one
I
is
see.
38.
That's why the adjoining property owners.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
These are basically ditches between property and.
I understand, thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
So you want Nathan and I to
Yes,
work on that?
I would say, was that where we wanted to head? Motion, Aaron?
Make a motion to have,
You don't serve to do that.
Okay,
And Michelle will talk to you about this. I don't have any objection to that.
yeah, that's just not, I don't believe. What else you got, David?
That's all I have for y'all tonight.
Still working with Scott on the bridge?
Yes, and then watching legislation, that's been proposed, on taxes, and, volunteer fire departments, what else is the other one that's been brought up? Ambulance services. I told the council last night, it's kind of a dangerous time in Indianapolis
Yeah.
for the county, so I made that recommendation to them last night, and I make a recommendation to the commissioners should probably be contacting your representatives and your senator, and let them know how much this is gonna hurt Martin County if these proposals are approved.
Do they have any feeling up there how they're gonna go?
Some of the stuff is passing through committees. And it'll go to. And then it'll have to see if goes to a second committee, depending on subject matter. Then it goes to the initiating house, say the House of Representatives or the Senate, whichever. And then crosses if it gets approved. So nothing is a done deal yet.
They can still add and take away verbiage right now?
Yeah, or just do away with.
Can you briefly expound on what you're talking about? What proposals you're talking about?
Well,
Let's just, go with the volunteer firemen. That was
it's a procedure to take away the authority to, for like the city of Lagodi and the town of Shoals have the volunteer fire departments in Lost River. And those, volunteer fire departments would be removed from the control of those entities and the, county would take control of those and funding. Rather than those three entities I mentioned, that's a concern that Jim Hamby's raised. The matter about ambulance service, and emergency services like that is, right now, that is not considered to be an essential service for counties. This legislation would require that to be an essential service, and counties would have to continue funding it or provide for it in some manner whatsoever under the, it appears to be, expanded authority of the state. So, that's a big financial concern.
I just can't imagine there's any counties that doesn't have some sort of, I mean, even if they're just paying. I mean, that's why I don't understand why they're bringing this up now.
You know,
It's basically from up north. I mean, it's House Bill 1288, what it is, and, you know, there's. Marion County doesn't follow that because it's the Unicov or it's a bad bill. I mean, it's a bad bill.
Well, that's what I was getting from it, but that's why I was, just didn't understand why it was even out there. I mean, it's,
Yeah, the Indiana Volunteer Firemen's Association is against it. They're trying to. They've been pushing this thing, it's like he said, it's kind of a Unicov deal. That's been boiling for a long, long time, and they keep pushing it, and trying to do it with trustees, and it's not a good thing. It's basically taking the government away from the locals, and
Exactly.
it's not a good thing.
See, we've been fighting Washington, and now we're fighting the state. The state's going for land grab now, power control now, so that's what you're up against. That's why if you unite as counties and you set up a commission with the other counties where you can communicate, you can band together against the state.
But I'm gonna poke the Du Bois County Commissioners in the eye. I wanna band up with them.
This is a nightmare we're in, yes. But when Trump said fight, he was serious.
continuing on with regard to the taxes, Governor Braun is, during his campaign and since his election, has been proposing a reduction in property taxes. That's, in my opinion, that's just gonna cut the legs out from under, commissioners and council on how they fund, essential services here in Martin County. There's some question as to how they would replace those monies. So,
An
I
idea.
don't know what's gonna happen there, so. Another, matter that's been proposed is, to require, and I don't know everything about this one yet, but, for, for the Crossroads project require counties to, have every tax available, which would include wheel tax, to be eligible for the Crossroads money and applications.
I'm really surprised that on this community crossings, they've not asked for that 6 or 8 years ago.
Here's another thing, banks. British Admiralty Rule has control of banks. Banks are set up, you have, credit unions. Credit unions are set up according to the, republic, land, air, water, whereas banks is about fiat currency, which they hold, and they make you pay the taxes on everything. With a credit union, you have a credit union that's invested in education here. You have Crane Credit Union, which is close, and then you have, the county credit union. If through the payments that you make, if you communicate with them about the interest paid for governing the money, instead of having it backed by gold, which is coming, that's one of the things that's gonna have to take place, and that's happening behind the scenes right now, is because we're up against the banks. That is the system of the 7,000 year plus system, okay? That funds all the wars around the world. They, through the British Admiralty Rule system, they have gone around the world, and through, the interstate national laws, they have set up a system where each country does that as under their control through the regulations and customs of each country. Well, they're getting ready to collapse right now. So we're trying to set up a world federation. That's going on behind the scenes. But if you get with your credit unions, you can negotiate with them that part of the interest would fund, and go with the 3 banks, I think would be very interesting, because you're invested in education. You have your military that is standing up for the people. That's the machine that's fighting against this system around the world that is ruled. And with, there's 7 nations involved in this right now. They're cooperating.
I don't mean to interrupt, but we were just talking about the wheel tax on our House Bill.
I
Well,
know,
Yeah,
but I'm saying if you get with them and you negotiate, there's funding that can be set up through the credit union that is separate from the system we're under now. And that's the future, is the credit union. You might talk with them and the interest where everybody is funding it. It's be a portion of the interest of everyone's, and according to their wealth.
I do think we need to have a serious talk about the wheel tax.
Yes.
Yeah, and I understand your position there on the wheel tax, I do. But all that could be,
I mean, yeah, cause if we don't have that, we could be knocked out of $1.5 million. We wouldn't even
I
be
know
eligible
it's a
for it.
game, but you play the short-term game for the long term.
Yeah,
Well, we're knocked out of grants every year because we don't have it anyway. We lose tons of money. We all know that. It's not happening, so, but let's get back on topic.
I do recommend, if you get a chance, talk to your representatives, that you discuss these matters with them, because
see you, Dan, Arthur.
there's some problems.
Thank you. Come back anytime. Yeah, absolutely there is. I mean, it all sounds great on the property tax, but every other tax that we've got would have to be just maxed out so we could even,
Well, you know, they're doing that, and then they're also talking about cut the income tax, state income tax. So you cut those legs out from under you, and cut the income tax legs out from under, then I don't know what.
I don't know if there'd be enough taxes out there to make us float. You know,
There
even as small as we are, I mean,
That's all I got.
Thank you.
thank you, David. Anybody have anything while we was there? comment, concern? Michelle?
Yeah, a couple things, update on IT. Friday Matrix was here, pulled out the rest of their equipment they had. Next Monday was here just to make sure we didn't have any issues with connectivity. We didn't, so it went very smoothly. So nobody really noticed anything during the day, which was good. So,
Got the RTC guy here, Michelle, you know, and, we should probably let him know our internet is horrible here.
yeah,
We
if you
need
could bring
internet
that
help immediately.
BEAD funding here. Yeah, that's why,
It's one of the biggest complaints we hear, so.
And it's a race between you and Orange County, so. Yeah, yeah, it does. So everything's
so
good?
yeah, Matrix is taking care of, backups for the next month. That was a different contract and, cybersecurity, but yeah, so far so good. And in the process of the phone system and, you know, RTC was actually the first one to point it out that the elevator and the vault and the, security system, all were on internet-based phone lines. So the internet, the power went down. I mean, those things, you would need a phone in those places, they would not have been working. So the solution that, Level 365 proposed, would either, NRTC said, would either need to be a hardline phone, like an old analog regular phone line. Or we have this, company MetTel, which provides, a phone line that, is still a digital phone line, but they have equipment that, is also Wi-Fi based, so if the internet were to go out, it would pick up signal from Verizon and AT&T. And also there's a battery backup on, those lines also, if their electricity would go out. So for 24 hours, battery backup would work on those lines, so. And that was about really $20, at least $20 a month cheaper than a regular analog line from Frontier.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like 179 for the Frontier, and this one was 145.
Yeah, for all three lines, yeah.
Cause we asked in our email what would be the cheapest, and I couldn't imagine it running a line one time and then but here nor there.
Yeah,
So this is our recommendation here is MetTel.
yeah, that would be,
It'd be $145.34 a month for 3 years.
mm-hmm.
And $100 activation fee. What do you guys think? Well, I mean, the thing is, we have to have it.
Yeah.
It's not like we cannot.
Yeah, Level
Right.
365
Yeah.
said we can't leave it on, right now they have temporary on their lines.
Yeah.
But we can't leave it there.
I make a motion, we go with the MetTel for the 36 month.
Second Rita's motion.
Motion by Retha, second by Aaron. All in favor? Aye. This one here.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fine.
All right. You can continue.
Okay, last night at the council meeting, the judge came to the council asking for a temporary court reporter position. She's got one court reporter going to retire sometime in June. She's unsure of the exact date at this point. And then one court reporter going on maternity leave in August. So she has 3 court reporters. So 2 of them will be leaving in, the next 6 to 8 months. So she asked the council to be able to train a new court reporter. Like she'll have court reporters to be able to train this person, and then she'll, slide into the retired person's position when they retire. So the council did approve, to go ahead and hire that person, with 90 to 120 days, of training, depending on, you know, if they could find somebody and in what time, so.
So up to hundred and 20 days.
Mhm. Yeah, depending on when they found the right person. So we're coming to you, the judge did, you know, tell the council it's kind of backwards, usually she would have came to you guys first and then to the council, but, just to the, placement of your meetings. And to get that person, you know, get that position going, she went to the council first last night.
I really don't mind it when they go ask for the money first, because if the money's not there, I mean, there's no sense in us
Mm-hmm,
making a position.
mm-hmm.
I know she said something in the meeting last night about 2 weeks. She would know in 2 weeks if they were gonna work out or
Mhm.
not. So I guess I was a little confused on that. Are we going to go ahead and let them have all that training, or is somebody gonna reevaluate and see in a
Oh,
couple
no,
weeks?
she said she can tell within 2 weeks if
That's
they're
what I
gonna work
thought.
out.
Yes.
So I think
Okay.
she'll call it.
Okay,
I think
just
she
wanted-
pretty much tells them, you know.
So it won't be a 120 in, I mean,
No.
just non-ending, it'll be,
Okay.
she's got 120 days to find somebody.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
Make motion to approve the temporary court reporter position.
I will second that motion.
And that will be up to 120 days.
yeah, and it did say last night it'll be full-time, they're 70 hours, considered full-time. It'll be a full-time position. They'll get benefits after the 90 days, if they're here 90 days.
But that's gonna be the person she
Mhm.
slides, okay.
Yeah. So just to let you know, it'll be considered full-time, but yeah, they'll slide into that retired person's spot also.
All right, so this position won't stay after the 120 days, it'll be gone.
Mm-mm,
All
yeah.
right. Aaron made the motion, Retha with the second. All in favor? Aye. What else you got, Michelle?
I believe that's all. Teresa, did I forget anything that you know of? We're working on, Xsoft, our financial software, trying to do side by side with Harris, our current software, to get things built. So it's gonna be like State Board of Accounts said, to give it 6 months side by side usage. So our office has been, I'm thankful for Teresa, Missy, Diana, Connie for putting a lot of work into that.
Absolutely.
So it'll save us money in the long run, but now it's kind of a headache.
Well,
Absolutely.
Connie was talking today how just the property transfers have really picked up. I think right now, she just, the last 2 days, she has 28 deeds she needs to transfer.
Wow,
It's time consuming, but, you know, that's a lot. That is a lot.
yeah,
But I haven't seen it slow down, really. It just seems like they just keep coming like that.
Mm.
thank you, Michelle. Ladies, thank you.
Thanks for everything the whole office does. So.
All right, nothing else, Michelle?
No, that's all I had.
Guys, do you have anything?
No.
Special you want to, anybody else have anything? Mary?
I would like to publicly thank you, Paul, for coming last Friday to the groundbreaking ceremonies for the addition to the Shoal Public Library. Thank you very much for coming and
I can give a little speech.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the library is open on Main Street, just north of SC Drapery. So the library is open, you know, people can still come and sit around and use the internet, just like they could at the library.
Well, we were all three gonna try to be there, but things come up, so,
Right.
yeah, we're definitely for the library, so. Great. John, do you have anything? You ain't got nothing.
No, no, keep it shut tonight. Get a better idea if I shut my damn mouth.
All right, well, if nobody has anything else, the courthouse is gonna be closed on Monday, February 17th for President's Day. And our next meeting will be here Tuesday, February 18th at 5:30. So if nobody has anything else,
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Teresa with a motion, Aaron with a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good job, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Yeah.